everybody's year has been going well so far. I know January was filled with so much energy with that new moon in Capricorn. And it's just, oh my goodness, there's so much energy in January. I am really looking forward to seeing like what all this year has in store. It is so much good energy this year. For me, now, I can't speak for everybody. I do know some people that have been having some hardships a little bit, but this is a year of 8. It is a year of infinity. It is a year of what goes around comes around. It is a year of reaping what you sow. So what people put out into the universe, they will receive back. But for those who have really been working on themselves and helping others and just growing, I mean, this year has been full of lessons and blessings, right? I'm really looking forward to this month and next month as well, and the summer solstice this month, because we have new moon in Aquarius tomorrow or it'll probably be today by the time I post this, but we have new moon in Aquarius on Friday, February 9th, going into Saturday, February 10th, which is the Chinese New Year. This year will be the year of the dragon. I don't know about anybody else, but I was dreaming a lot about dragons last year. So I am really looking forward to this year of the dragon. And then also we have the spring equinox in March. What is it? It's normally around the 21st. I want to say it's the 19th this year, but either way, we have the spring equinox, and it's just with the whole new year concept, it's different. You know, the majority of us, majority of the world, I want to say, not us, go along with the new year starts January 1st. I know, like my brother more so, he's kind of with me where I'm more on the new year starts I'm kind of torn between like the Chinese New Year. I still celebrate the Chinese New Year, as well as I'm with the New Year actually starts, spring equinox. The New Year actually starts for me on the 21st, the start of Aries season. But either way, lots of good energy this year. And, I just want to talk about, because like I was recording a message the other day when I was driving up to the school, trying to get to Subway early in the morning. I don't even know why I was trying to go early in the morning, because I didn't even have, or I wasn't going to have class that day anyways. I normally will go, if I forgot to bring something for lunch, or if I didn't bring anything for lunch, I'll go into Subway since they open early and grab something and then, eat that for my lunch. But I don't even know why I was trying to go that day, because I wasn't going to class that day anyways. But, I got lost making wrong turns only to go in a full circle and end up where I was supposed to be all along. So that's just been like a metaphor for this year. Even though this year literally just got started, I'm just continuing to get confirmation. I remember somebody saying, like, asking a question of, this is like when I was watching a podcast, and they were asking a question of, if you're like a classic overthinker, and that would be me, if you're a classic overthinker, they were like, how do you know the difference between when you're getting a download, when you're getting signs from like your guides, your ancestors, from the deities that you work with, or the deities that are working with you, because sometimes they're working with you even if you're not conscious and working with them, they're still working on your behalf, just because of how much they love you, right? But someone asked, like, how do you know when you're getting a download or when you're just in your head overthinking and these are your thoughts? And the person responded by saying, it was Aquarius Maximus, and she responded by saying, because when it's a download, you'll get confirmation. Like when you're in your head, you just continue to overthink and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But when it's an actual download, you get confirmation. So I just want to talk a little bit about getting confirmation, right? So sometimes, like, I know, like, people, especially those that like who are overthinkers, when you go back and forth about something, and then when you finally decide on something and then that something doesn't work out, it's like the biggest disappointment, because it's like, yo, like I went back and forth on this forever only to have it not work out. Like I literally was, finally made a decision and now everything didn't work out. But sometimes, that's because that's your spirit team, that's your ancestors, that's your guides telling you, like, not necessarily that you made the wrong choice, but that this choice may bring you more hardships than blessings. You know what I mean? Like this role, like you can take any role. The one thing with overthinkers, and this is something that I experience, is that when you are the type where you have a hard time making decisions, and when you're constantly like going to your team for guides, or if you're the type of person who's constantly getting readings and going to others for guidance, and I don't recommend that. I'd rather you pray to your team every night and ask them and worry them to death than to go to another physical person, right? But if it's someone that you trust, that you have a working relationship with, then of course, you can seek guidance. But I'm really for like going to your team. But like with my team, even when I asked them if I present them, like there were like 3 or 4 different options, because I'd been wanting to go back to school for a while, and there were like 3 or 4 different paths that I was considering, and I kept asking my team like, hey, which one should I do? Which one should I do? And literally I was getting the response like, this is your life. Like you choose your path. This is your life. Like do whatever you want to do. Like you're going to be supported either way. So I was like, okay. So I ended up choosing the path. I'm not even going to lie. I ended up choosing the path that was like the easiest and that was the most convenient. It wasn't my top choice, but it was most convenient. So I chose that path only to find out that I can't even do that path. So but I really feel like it's my spirit team telling me like, hey, it's not that this path is wrong, but it's that it's going to bring you more hardship than blessing. Yes, it'll bring you blessings. Yes, you can do lots of good work down this path, but it's really going to bring you like more hardships, right? So I feel like sometimes when we make a decision and things don't work out, that's really our guide's way of kind of trying to redirect us, right? I try not to look at anything as a failure or as being wrong. That's like the whole point of the whole reason why I have trouble making decisions, because I don't want to make the wrong decisions. And my team keep telling me there's no such thing as a wrong decision. There's just every decision you make has, I don't even want to really say the word consequences, because consequences has like a negative connotation to it. But I'm going to use that for like lack of a better word. But every decision you make has I was going to say repercussions, but that sounds worse. But every decision you make has consequences, whether good or bad. Everything that I'm going to say every action has a reaction, right? So there's going to be some good that comes out of everything, but you just have to outweigh the positives and the negatives, right? So just to give like a little example, this is going to be a personal example about my life. One of the choices that I make, because since I've entered spirituality, I've been wanting to go back to school for years anyways, because the job that I work, although it's fitting for me, it just doesn't really interest me anymore. And ever since I've entered my spiritual path, and my life has just like transformed. The way I look at things has transformed. The way I look and respond to people has transformed. I really like, I would like to sit at the house all day and just do spiritual stuff. But we live in this 3D matrix, and we kind of have to play the game, right? So I have to have some kind of income, right? So I was like, well, what kind of way can I transform my spirituality into income in a way that I would enjoy, right? And I was like, okay, because I'm very, very overwhelmed in large crowds. I want to work with people, but I get very overwhelmed with large amounts of energy. one of the fields that I was, well, three out of four of the options were all remaining in healthcare. They were just in different aspects of healthcare that I do now. So I was like, let me see. I was like, I can't do anything where I'm going to be bombarded by large amounts of energy, large amounts of people. Nursing was one because my mother is a nurse, but I was like, you're interacting with too many people, not only patients, but their families and all that. What I do in healthcare now, we do have interactions with patients, but when we do, it's like one at a time, right? It's a one at a time deal. We don't have, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 patients that we're dealing with all at the same time. It's a one at a time kind of thing. So it's not as overwhelming. So I was like, okay, so that was one that I went back and forth with for years, because everyone's like, oh, you would make such a great nurse because I'm good at multitasking and because I'm generally good with people. But I was like, that field would be way too overwhelming for me, right? So then I started looking at like some other fields, and one of them was literally in healthcare, but it was more on a holistic side. So this was the path that I ended up choosing, and it was massage therapy, because I was like, well, at least with massage therapy, I'm still only working with one person at a time. So it's not like overwhelming to my energy. I was like, and it's a great way. I mean, massage therapy is more health and wellness than it is healthcare. I mean, you do have massage therapists that work in like rehabilitation clinics, and that's more of a healthcare setting. But and for some reason they make less money, like significantly less money, when they work in a clinical rehabilitation clinic in a healthcare setting versus working at a wellness center. You can make literally like twice as much. I don't really understand it, because you're beneficial in either role, especially like in a health and wellness, you're more in a like a relaxation mode. Like some people still go to health and wellness centers if they're going through rehabilitation. Their doctor might tell them to, go, get like a deep tissue or something. But, for the ones that massage therapists work in the clinic, in the rehabilitation clinic, they literally make like half the amount that people make when they work in the wellness centers. Like, I just don't understand that. But that's kind of like the thing with healthcare. Like, it's so much money, that's being generated through healthcare, yet the actual employees that work in healthcare really aren't making that much. Like these hospitals and especially these pharmaceutical companies are making like millions and billions of dollars, whereas the actual workers are like living paycheck to paycheck. It's ridiculous. It's kind of like my thing anyways. But getting off my like Robin Hood soap opera right now. So I decided to do like massage therapy. Now here's like the kind of kicker. So I was like, okay, this is a great way that I can, still work with people one at a time. So I'm not overwhelming myself with mass amounts of energy, and I can still, it's an easy way to work your spirituality in there, with the different oils that you use, the different techniques. You can always do energy cleansing while you're working on someone. It's a phenomenal way to do it. So I was like, okay, this is like a 1-year program, get in and out, and I'm like, and my complete career field would be changed within the course of a year. Like, it's perfect, right? So I'm the type of person where I have very sensitive skin, right? And it's kind of weird because I'm so susceptible to energy. I actually don't like people touching me. It kind of actually freaks me out a little bit. Like, unless it's somebody, like I do have like coworkers that are like, if I really like their energy, I really want to touch them if I like their energy. But if like people whose energy seems off, I get like really like creeped out when you touch me, because it's almost like I can feel that energy transferring into my body, like through your grimy fingers. Like, I just, it's a thing. So that was like something that I had to work through, because I'm like, not every client that I deal with is going to have great energy. Like, some people's energy is going to be off. The majority of them, their energy is probably going to be off. So I kind of have to learn how to deal with that and how to protect myself from absorbing these people's energy, right? So that was something that I was working on, that I'm going to continue to work on, even though I can't go into the field. It's something that I'm going to continue to work on, because it's important that I learn how to open myself up more to people. I can't be like a hermit for the rest of my life. And actually, one of the 4 options, one of them being nursing, which I said no, and massage therapy, which I'm discussing now. And then one of the other 4th options was working it's not really it's in healthcare, but it's not really in healthcare. It's like statistical, like data and statistical analysis that I was going to get a degree in. It's also like a 2-year program. It's online, and the good thing is that a lot of stuff has been transferred to work at home. So it's something that I could do at home, which is going to make me even more of a friggin' hermit. But that was definitely a perk. I mean, the money that they make is very significant. That was a perk too. But the biggest perk was really going to be me working out. Because if I can work from home, I can save tremendous amounts of money. I'm not wasting gas. I'm not wasting a whole bunch of money on clothes. I mean, just get me like a couple of nice outfits that I can wear in front of the camera, and I'm good. I can wear a button-down dress shirt with like sweatpants. No one has to see what I'm wearing below the waist. Like, I'm good, right? So it would save me tremendous amounts of money. And I could just be at home and be in like my bubble. But I was like, not that I'm like completely ruling it out, because even just talking about it now, I'm like, that option is starting to sound good again. But I can incorporate my spirituality into that. I can, however, since I'm at home, I can still focus a lot about my spirituality. I can still have my candles lit, and I can still be doing things on the side, just not in front of the camera while I'm at work. So I can definitely still do a lot of spirituality, because I'll be at home like all the time. But I don't know if that's necessarily best for my health, and for, just my needing to interact more, which my guides have been telling me, like, I need to interact more. And I'm still like, working on that aspect. So that's another option. And then there's a 4th option, which I'm not going to mention, because this is like the option that's really my first choice. But there's going to be a lot of things that I have to work. It's going to be a little bit. It's extra things that I have to do in order to do this one. So that's kind of why I put it last, even though really in terms of passions, it's first. Which that's what my guides are trying to get me to stop taking the easy way out. Either way, back to the story about blockages, right? So I'm the type of person where I've always had sensitive skin. I use hypoallergenic lotions, soaps, detergents, all of that, because anything harsh will make my skin break out. Like Irish Spring, I can't use. Zest, I haven't even seen Zest in years. I don't even know if they still make it. I mean, I'm sure they do, because when I go to the stores, I'm not even looking for it, so I don't know where it's at on the shelves, because I can't use it. So I've always known that about myself. And like I said previously, I'm not the type of person where I touch a lot of people. Even though I work in healthcare, we wear gloves, we wear the coats or whatever, the gowns or whatever. So we are covered. Our scrubs have to go all the way to our ankles. Our shoes have to cover our complete foot. So there's no part of my body that physically touches someone else directly, skin to skin, at least, right? If we do touch, there's like protective barriers between us, right? So this being massage therapy, everything was skin to skin. Well, I learned for the first time in my life that my degree of sensitivity on my skin is a lot more sensitive than what I ever knew. Like I said, I've hugged like family and stuff. Like, I'm not like a big hugger anyways, but like, and I've always been okay. But, working in massage therapy, of course, since we're doing massage, we jumped right into it starting off week 1, and we're working on each other. And that, my classmates are working on me, I'm working on my classmates, and my skin was breaking out horribly. I mean, like, my entire body, okay, from my neck, for some reason, well, we didn't touch faces, we didn't do face work, but from my neck down to like my knees, My entire body was covered in hives and rashes. My skin was red. It was inflamed. It was itching like, I was going to say HELL, but it was itching tremendously. I can't even describe. The itching was horrible. So, I'm telling my instructor, like, hey, my skin is itching really bad. I'm showing her, all the parts of my body that are, but not like my classmates aren't seeing it. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this program because my skin is obviously super sensitive and it's causing severe breakouts. And so my instructor was like, well, maybe it's just the oils that we use. Now, at that point, we had only used olive oil and coconut oil. And I was like, well, I know it can't be the oils. I said, I use these all the time at home. And not only that, like, we didn't start the oils right away. We started off with like chair massages before we even started working on the tables. And in chair massages, we don't use oil. It's just straight skin to skin. And it's only back. It's only upper body. It's only back and arms, neck and stuff like that. So I said it can't be the oils because, for one, I use these at home. And for two, the breakout started immediately, not just when we started the oils. So she was like, oh, well, let's just try some other products and see what works and this and that. And I kept trying to tell her, like, look, it's getting worse. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And she was like, well, why don't you just go see your doctor? I mean, I had already scheduled an appointment to see my doctor anyways. But she was like, why don't you go see your doctor and then see what your doctor says before you make a decision? Because she's like, I've been doing this for 15 plus years. And I've had tons of students that have sensitive skin. We just have to find a product that works for you. And I said, it's not about the product. I said, the breakout started before we started. You're not listening. And it's very frustrating, especially anybody, if you've ever been sick and gone to the doctor and they're trying to tell you something and you're like, you're not listening. It's very frustrating because it's like, it's not, with healthcare, everything is not a one size fits all. You know what I mean? You can have 3 people that have the same condition. You can give all 3 people the same treatment, the same remedy, the same prescription, and you might have 3 different reactions because everybody's not the same. You can't base, how I'm reacting to how students you've had in the past react because I'm not them. So it was getting very frustrating. So anyways, like, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to like think, and she was like, well, the doctor can give you a prescription for some steroids that'll help with the inflammation and the itching and the hives and everything, and then you'll be fine. So I'm like trying to push through it because I've been wanting to go to school for a while. Finally made a decision. At the 4 options, I finally made a freaking decision, only to have this happen. And now I'm like, crap, because if I drop out, then I've just wasted time because, at this point, we're at the end of January. When this was happening, we're at the end of January, and it's too late for me to go anywhere else, because we're too deep into the semester. We've passed the last day to drop an ad, right? Okay, I had to take a quick break. So I don't remember the very last thing that I said, but I know it had something to do with being too late in the semester. I think, so it's too late in the semester, to drop or add any classes or to switch programs, right? And plus, this program, massage therapy, is at a they were offering at a community college, whereas the other programs that I was looking at were offered at a 4-year university, because the other programs they're not like an associate's degree, they're master's programs, right? So I was like, okay, well, crap. So I was like, that's fine. I was like, I've been wanting to work on my health and stuff anyways, and I've been doing so much running around with school that I haven't been able to get anything done. So I was like, if I have to drop out this semester, that's fine. I'll just use this extra time that I have in the mornings when I'm not in class, every day from 8 to 4, I can just, get up and go exercise, right? because my health was one of the big things also that I, in addition to going back to school and accomplishing that goal, my health was another one that I really wanted to focus on this year. So I was like, well, I can always go to school this year. I just have to wait till fall now, or spring. One of the programs has a summer start. One of the programs is year-round, spring, fall, summer, and the other program is fall only. So now between the other two programs, I can either start in fall or in summer. So I can still go to school this year. It's just I'll have to sit out this semester, which is fine. I'll just use these next couple of months to focus solely on my health, right? So I ended up, she was like, just go ahead and schedule an appointment with your doctor. Like I said, I had already done that because, I appreciate, the concern, even though it was a very, very much lack of concern, because I'm showing you the degree of which my skin is breaking out, and you're not listening, right? But, it was very much lack of concern. But, I went ahead and spoke to my doctor, and like I said, I have sensitive skin. I've had breakouts before. I actually have an allergy, which I did not learn until in my adult years, because, my doctor did say some allergies can form later in life. So I found out in my adult years that I actually do have a food allergy. So, that causes breakouts and stuff. So I've had to get prescriptions before for breakouts, for, allergic reactions and stuff. So my doctor already knows what works for me. And the crazy thing is that my doctor is like, we talked about like the products. She was like, do you think it's the products? And I explained to her, no, because the products that we use are stuff that I use at home. And I said, in addition to that, it started before we started using the products. So I'm not going to use that excuse of just blaming it on, it's just the products. No, it's coconut oil. My skin is not going to react like that to coconut oil. I use coconut oil all the time. Like, get out of here. I love coconuts, but, so my doctor was like, she said everybody's skin has a different degree of sensitivity. So not all people who have sensitive skin, their skin's going to react the same. She was like, it could be that something as simple as your classmate may be using, one of your classmates or multiple classmates may be using a detergent that your skin is reacting to. She said it could be that, maybe one of the lotions that one of your classmates, not that we're using on each other, but that they use personally, that's all over their hands, your skin may be reacting to. She said, it could be something so simple as, what your classmate had for lunch. She was like, if one of your classmates happened to have had, something for lunch, or if they happen to eat the things that you're allergic to, if they're not washing their hands thoroughly, like not just putting a little bit of soap on it and clapping it in the water, but if they're not washing their hands thoroughly, then they could be touching your skin after something that they had for lunch, and that could be breaking you out. She said it's a number of things. And she was like, I can give you the prescription and that'll help, but it's not going to keep it from coming back. She said the only thing that we can really do is to, I could give you an EpiPen, but, who wants to sit here and well, I don't even need that because my throat wasn't like closing up. But she was like, the best thing that we tell anyone with allergies is to avoid what it is that's causing the breakout. She said that's really the only preventative measure we can take is to just avoid it. So she was like, you're going to have to find out what it is. But in the meantime, you're going to have to avoid it. And if that can't be done, then we'll just have to send you, if this is something that you really want to do, we'll have to send you for testing and figure out what it is you're allergic to. And then you'll just have to restart the program next year. So I ended up, telling my instructor I'm not going to be able to do it and all that because just because of the level of reaction. And my doctor was also like, you don't want to let this prolong. She was like, I was telling her how like each week it was just spreading more and more. And she was like, yeah, if it's continuing to get worse, then it means it's something that you're coming in contact with often. So she was like, most likely it's probably the detergent that they may be using on the sheets that y'all are using, or it's one of your classmates. But she was like, you don't want to keep experiencing prolonged exposure to whatever it is that's causing this reaction because it's only going to get worse. So So that sucked like really bad. And then not only that, the idea of massage therapy kind of came into my head last year. Oh, this person took my spot. That's fine. I'll take this one. The idea of massage therapy came into my head last year when I had finally rearranged my whole work schedule and to give myself more free time. Like when I got my new schedule, when I left my old job, when I got this position that gives me a lot more free time to just relax and just, not have to stress. I'm going to take this other spot over here. Not have to stress and worry so much. And then like massage therapy just kind of came into my mind about, hey, this would be a great way for me to go into a field where there's still some flexibility with scheduling and where, and where I can, incorporate my spirituality and just do something a little bit more relaxing. Well, it turns out that I learned a lot. Even in like the past couple of weeks, I learned a lot because I knew that a lot of people, or my whole knowledge of massage therapy was really more from a relaxation standpoint more than anything. I knew that they worked in rehabilitation clinics and stuff. I knew that certain modalities and deep tissue methods were more for rehabilitation, but the basis of my knowledge was that massage therapy, people went to help them relax and kind of clear negative energy and things of that matter. So that's really why I was interested in it from a spiritual standpoint. But the idea came into my head, like I said, once I changed my schedule so that I could relax more. And now I'm feeling like my team put massage therapy in my head because they wanted me to go get a massage, not be a massage therapist. They wanted me to go see one because I got into a car accident years ago where my back got really messed up. I went to a chiropractor for a while until I ended up relocating. Then I stopped. And, ever since I stopped, my back, I never really finished all the sessions because I moved and I still have issues with my back. And going through the program, even for a short number of weeks, I realized all the benefits that massage therapy can give you, all the benefits of it. Even if you're just getting a Swedish massage, there's still lots of benefits of it and helping move around fluid and tension and loosening up muscles. So, because of that. And then that was also a thing that was going to be an issue for me because I have back problems. Being a massage therapist where you're on your feet all day, we're, doing all of these different lunges and all these different stances while we're working on these techniques, my back was hurting bad. Doing a lot of that, my back was hurting so bad. Even just being in the class, it was making it worse. And I was telling my instructor that too, my back hurts. And my instructor was like, well, just go get a back brace. Your posture is important. And I was like, yeah, I know posture is important in life. Please sit up straight. Don't slouch because you will feel it in later years. So I said, no, I understand that. But I said, I don't think y'all the whole thing with I don't think you're listening. I was like, my back hurts really bad. It's not just about standing up straight. I even went and got one of those back braces, the ones that you see people wear. I've seen package deliverers, FedEx workers and stuff like that wear this, where it has the straps on it and you buckle it around your stomach and it helps you to maintain your straight posture. I got one of those and still my back was hurting. So I believe that when my team kind of gave me that download about massage therapists, me being in my mindset of trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, I was like, oh yeah, let me do this. They were actually telling me I needed to go see one now. Especially while I'm in my relaxation mode of trying to de-stress. This would be a great way. So I'm actually going to incorporate that into my healing for this year. Like I said, this year, as far as my healing pyramid goes, I really, really, really want to focus on body. So I'm going to incorporate that into my physical healing. But this message has gone on for long enough. I've literally been recording this message for 3 days now. It is now officially Saturday, February 10th. It is the Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon. Happy New Year. A lot of great energy coming in this month and for the rest of this year. I actually was watching a video last night and learned that outside of the traditional January New Year, the February Chinese New Year, the March, the astrological New Year that starts in March with the Aries season, there's also a Lemurian New Year, which starts in June. So there's so much energy coming through this year, y'all. But like I said, this message has been long enough. I really just wanted to record this. This is my long and drawn out way of saying that, don't ever look at anything, any kind of setback. I look at setbacks as my team trying to help propel me forward, right? So anytime something doesn't work out the way that I want it to, I know it's because my team has something better in mind. So that's just really my long way of saying that anytime something doesn't work out, do not let it get you down. Do not look at it as a failure. Look at it as your team kept you from wasting time doing one thing so that you can focus your energy on something that's going to bring you, I'm hearing 10 times, 100 times the blessings for your work, right? So y'all, Happy New Year. That is going to be the message for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.